Hello and welcome to a April Fool's Day video. Unfortunately, I have been too foolish to think of a whimsical prank to play on you. So today the video is just going to be a boring old life update. But hopefully you have played or experienced a fun number of pranks today, if that's your kind of thing. And if not, I hope your day has instead been nice and relaxing. So, I've made a few kind of highlights from my last, I think in between now and my last video like this, just to talk about. I'd like to start by saying that in the UK, sometime, I think it was last week, it was insanely windy for at least one day, and it was crazy. I was looking after a dog, and the dog was so scared I had to bring her up to the bedroom I was sleeping in, which I really didn't mind, but I didn't sleep very much in between the sound of the wind and the sound of the dog repositioning herself every 5 seconds. She has 2 beds and I brought them both up, and so she kept moving between both beds. But I'm glad that she was able to relax at that point. However, when I got up in the morning, I went outside and everything had been crazy. There were some unplanted fruit trees that had fallen over. There was all sorts of things that had been flung around, even like a heavy blue canister of some sort. I'll put a picture here. And the doors to some of the outbuildings had just been flung open by the wind. So I was trying and basically failing to shut those. They were really difficult to sort. So that was interesting. Thankfully there wasn't any major damage to anything. I also, around that time, began watching Downton Abbey, if you've ever heard of it. It's rather scandalous. It reminds me a bit of Bridgerton, but a lot more realistic and also more modern setting, I think. My history isn't very good. Sorry. All I know is that it is pretty full of drama, because it's a drama. And if you are somebody who watches the show, I am only on season 1, so please no spoilers. And all I have to say is justice for Mr. Bates. I love him so much. I wish that they'd stop being mean to him. Just let my guy live. Okay. So maybe more updates on that once I've gotten further through the series. But definitely one that I think I'm gonna stick with. I was recommended it by several people I know, actually, and I kept saying, yeah, maybe I'll watch it, because I don't watch many things. But I'm definitely into it. Okay, so then when I was on my way back from this place I was staying at, my car decided to tell me it had an engine problem. And when I looked it up in the manual, it said that I couldn't drive fast or accelerate fast and needed to get it looked at very soon. So I got it home, drove 30 miles an hour the whole way, took about an hour, and then I called to take it to the garage. Sorry, I'm really bad at pronouncing that word. I usually get bullied for my pronunciation of it. The garage, I called them and they said to bring it in. So I got in the car the next day and the warning had disappeared. I still took it to the garage and they said that there was 0 faults. There was absolutely nothing wrong with it. So I think maybe it was just being obstinate and deciding it wanted to just play an early April Fool's prank on me, I guess. Would have been way funnier if it had happened today. But it didn't. Okay. So that was a relief, but also quite bemusing. I have just listened back to this and I think I may be talking louder now than I was at the start of the video. Sorry if that is annoying or anything. If you have any feedback regarding volume levels or anything, I would really appreciate it, because this is my, I think, 3rd soft-spoken video. Or 2nd? No, it's my 3rd. Thank you in advance. Anyways, let's just get back to my random rambling. So, a couple of days ago, I went to a farm shop. I don't do that often because they're very expensive, but I decided to go and see what was around because why not? And I ended up buying a couple of handfuls of Brussels sprouts, which are a vegetable that I quite like. They're not my favourite, but I do like them. And I also asked from the cheese counter, I asked them to recommend me a cheese for my partner who likes cheddar. So they recommended I think it was called Black Bomber, and it's from Snowdon, which is in Wales. And we like Snowdon. We like Wales. I've actually been to Irowyddfa, which is one of the mountains there. I think it used to be called Snowdonia, but was renamed so that it was the Welsh name instead, which is good. And I can't remember what I was talking about. Hold on. Oh, cheese, right. So apparently this cheese is really good, according to the 2 people at my house who have now tried it. So maybe that's a recommendation to anyone who can find that in the UK. I also bought some wine, and that is intended for my dad's birthday present, but that's not for another few weeks, or a week. My perception on time is not great. But anyways, browsing the farm shop is always very fun. There's always lots of interesting things, some of them local, some of them not so local. all of them definitely expensive. I mean, apart from the fresh veg, that's usually the only thing that's kind of decently priced. Like, I think I paid maybe £1, pound in English currency, Great British pound, for all these Brussels sprouts. I'm sorry if you hear doors closing at the moment. It is the morning for me, so people are up and doing things quite early. But when I got home that evening, I made all the Brussels sprouts. I cooked all of them because I thought that I would be giving them to the whole family, and it turned out I was the only person in the whole family who liked Brussels sprouts. So I had a very, very large amount of vegetables, and I didn't quite manage all of them, but I did pick at the leftovers the following morning, so none of them went to waste. In other news for good finds, not just food related, I have been going to charity shops again, which is something I find fun. I think if you're an American listener, it's more like thrift stores, I think. You know, where you have like second-hand things. And I got a really cute handbag and a dress that I thought was really nice. It was a grey dress with these white sleeves and collar, but on the sleeves and the collar there were polar bears, and I just thought it was so cute. But I am too large to fit into it. I was being optimistic, and bought it even though it was one size too small. I thought maybe if I want it bad enough, it will fit. It didn't. So that will unfortunately either be redonated or returned. I did also go to some other shops and get some summer kind of clothing, because, you know, as soon as it's above 10 degrees Celsius, we think summer's coming. So I got a skirt and a pair of kind of floral, lightweight trousers, which will be lovely when it gets warmer. I do need to get some shorts and things as well, because mine are all a bit decrepit and sad. Okay, so I have another couple of things that I wanted to talk about. There's only, I think 2 left. One of them is that I got to go to my favourite Japanese restaurant the other day, and what I had to eat was a deep fried curry roll, which, if you've not tried, I think is one of the most amazing things ever. I know it's probably not authentic style at all, but if you deep fry anything, it tends to taste amazing. Anything being anything food related, anything edible. Don't like deep fry your socks. I don't recommend that. So I also had pork gyoza and some kind of sushi roll that had beef, and I've never seen that before. I'm gonna put a couple of pictures on just to show that, because that was definitely interesting. I didn't eat much of that one, but it was absolutely demolished when I brought it home for the family. So, waste not, want not. That restaurant is just amazing, though. I've never had something that was actually bad from there, just usually something that's not my taste. I've been there so many times over the years. I think if it ever shuts down, I'm going to leave the country. So let's hope they don't do that. Well, the last thing I was going to mention isn't really much of a thing. It's just that I picked up my watercolours again because I haven't touched them for like a week or more. And I randomly painted some fruits and vegetables. They are very like cartoony style because I'm still really bad at painting. The most realistic looking one would have been the orange because I had one in front of me to paint from. The rest of them were just from memory. I distinctly remember the kiwi I painted was horrendously unrecognisable because I think I forgot what a kiwi looked like. I knew it was brown and fuzzy, and that was about it. But I painted it too small to even be able to put the detail of fuzz, so it was just like a brown blob, and that was it. My favourite was I painted a bunch of bananas, but I put gold glitter on them at the end. I actually put the gold glitter on the tomatoes as well. And trust me when I say that me explaining what the painting sounds like probably makes you visualise in your head something way better looking than what it actually was. So I'm going to do you a favour and just not show you so that you can keep the mental image that's probably magical inside your head. Well, that's kind of all I've got in the tank at the moment, but I wish you a good day or a good night, depending on when you're listening to this, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Take care, bye-bye.